Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of Johnson's Court. Today, I'm in the warehouse somewhere in a flannel trying to get in the mood in the season of Christmas because we have Christmas games, guys. I think that is super exciting. I know the NFL kind of competes with the NBA, but they have a game, I believe, at noon, at 4:30 and then 8:30. We'll definitely get into that later in the schedule. But want to say, hey, everyone, I hope you're having a good holiday so far. I hope that your Christmas is a good one and that you guys get everything that you wish for. I did, and I was in Disney last week, if you guys watched the video. So it was fun. It was exciting. I had a great time. I know Olivia had a great time. And now we're not sad to be back in Indiana, but we definitely do wish we were back on vacation, just like everybody else does when they come back from vacation. We're having those vacation blues, as we would say. But we're getting right into the podcast. It is only me. Nick did give his picks. He actually just left. He's got things he's got to go do. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe and watch the Nick Solomon podcast, Sports Chatter. It is a great channel, and he did have a special guest on there last week, and he has some things upcoming as well. So stay tuned for that. But with that being said, we're in Week 16. I kind of named this Week 16 Christmas. That might be the title of this. I don't really know yet, but we are going to get straight into it because we've got a lot of things going on. There are a lot of games I believe everybody plays. If the lights flicker off, I will try to wave my hands around to get them back on. But last week, I went 10-6. So I went above 500, which was really good, but I definitely could have done better. But you know who did do better? Nick did better. That guy right there went 13-3. Congrats to him. He was able to pick a few more winners than obviously me, which is really good. His total is 129 wins and 79 losses. I'm at 137 wins and 87 losses. So we'll see if he catches me. We'll see if I drop. I did go 10-6. He went 13-3, so he's inching closer towards me. We'll definitely see with the playoff race heating up. And that's kind of what I want to talk about right before we get into our picks. 30 out of the 32 teams are still in playoff contention, and we are on Week 16. That means there are teams, sorry, I got a cold chill there. That means some teams may not get they may get eliminated this week. And I think a lot of teams are going to get eliminated this week if the certain teams win. I at least know one or two teams is going to get eliminated this week. But I did also want to say how crazy that is that 30 out of 32 teams are still in playoff contention. That means there's a lot from the AFC and there's a lot from the NFC. That means only 3 teams have, 32, 31, 30. Yeah. So 30 teams, like I said, 3 teams have been eliminated from the playoffs, which is crazy. There's not more, but that just means how good the NFL has been all the way up to Week 16. Now, the teams that have clinched a playoff berth are the Ravens in the AFC. And then the rest are NFC. You've got the 49ers, the Eagles, and the Cowboys. They have all clinched a playoff spot. So 1 team in the AFC, 3 teams in the NFC. I did kind of want to ask Nick, I know he's not here, but my question is for him and to everybody is there any surprise there? Are you surprised the Ravens have clinched? Are you surprised the 49ers have, the Eagles, and the Cowboys? My personal answer is no. The 49ers, they're the best team in football right now. No surprise there. The Eagles are the second or maybe third best team in the NFL right now, so no surprise there. And then the Cowboys. On paper, statistically, they should win almost every game. They are going through a hard stretch of schedule right now. So to make sure you win those easy games, I should say this, and earlier in the year, it sets you up for it's okay to lose some games because you can still clinch that playoff berth. For any surprises that haven't clinched yet, I guess I'm surprised the Chiefs haven't clinched yet, but that's kind of because they've had a lot of drop passes. They're, 8-5, I believe. If I go, let's see here. They do play the Raiders this week. They're 9-5, actually. And so if they had they were 10-4. I think they would clinch the playoffs, but they're 9-5. So they just kind of need to get together in Week 16 and kind of win the games they need to in weeks from week 16 to week 19. Sorry, there's 1 week extended now, so I had to count that a little bit there. But other than that, there's no real surprises. I think, this year, this league, it's not necessarily mediocre, but I know like the last year I said backup QBs was like kind of like the name of the NFL and a lot, but there's not as many backup quarterbacks playing this year, but there are still quite a bit. So we'll see if any of those starting QBs can come back and help their teams going forward, especially at this time because, you need to be heating up in order to, go into the playoffs. This is the time to heat up. But that's it, guys. That is all I have for our record and what I want to talk about. Now I kind of want to get into the picks. Nick did give me his picks, so I have them all right here. I will say his picks as I go through mine individually. And with starting week 16, the first game that you have, which is tomorrow at 8:15, is the Saints versus the LA Rams. The Rams are playing pretty good right now. Cooper Kupp had a really good week. They are 7-7. The Saints are actually 7-7 as well. The Saints are still competing for that division. I think that this is a home game for the Rams, so I see the Rams winning this game because them carrying their momentum. I know the Saints got a win last week as well, but the NFC South division, I don't know who's going to win it. The Saints were favored at the beginning of the season, but in order to be in the position that you are now, I don't necessarily know if you have what it takes to win that division. So I'm going to go Rams here, and I think the Rams win the first game of the Christmas week. We don't go straight to Sunday. We go straight to Saturday. There are 2 games on Saturday. 2 pretty good games on Saturday. The first one is the Bengals versus Steelers. This is an AFC North showdown. I know the Steelers are, let's see here. They're 7-7. The Bengals are 8-6, so both have above at least 500 records. The Steelers could still potentially make the playoffs. The Bengals could still make the playoffs. The Ravens, as of right now, I think are in the lead to win the AFC North. So who says that the Bengals and the Steelers can't get in being a wild card? They would both have to be wild cards. So for this game, I know it's at Steelers. I know it's at home. They are going to start Mason Rudolph for Week 16, but I think the Bengals get it done. Jake Browning has done pretty well, and I think he carries that momentum and gets a dub for the Bengals. Moving on to our 8 o'clock game, you've got the Bills versus the Chargers. Chargers are on their backup QB because Justin Herbert is out for the rest of the year. They fired their coach. They'll figure it out at the beginning of the season, so I'm going Bills here. This is a pretty easy decision. Now we go to Sunday, and at 1 o'clock, you've got the Commanders versus the Jets. Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show the other day. If he was at 100%, he would be playing potentially this week or next week. Since he is not at 100%, he said he's probably not going to play. So I'm going to go Commanders here. The Jets are going to wait until next season to win. I have kind of forgotten. Nick went Rams. Nick went Bengals. He went Bills. He went Commanders. So right now we are 4 for 4. Our next 1 o'clock game is the Lions versus the Vikings. It isn't home for the Vikings. Do they still have a shot to win the NFC North? We'll see. They're 7-7. The Lions are 10-4. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. If the Lions want to win their division, they are 10-4, and they want to make sure that they secure depending on how the records are, they may be second, third, or fourth. If they want to make sure they're one of those teams and they want to host a playoff game, they need to win these divisional games. They do play the Vikings this week off. They play a different team next week, and then play the Vikings again for the last week. So they need to win these 2 games, and I'm going to go Lions here. I know it's on the road, but if they can beat them on the road, then they can beat them at home. And Nick went the Lions as well. Our next, look, a light already went off, so I'm going to have to get up here in a second. The next is the Browns versus the Texans. This is probably going to be the 1 o'clock game of the week. I'm going to personally go the Browns here. I believe in Joe Flacco. I know he didn't do too well in the first half, but they were able to come back and almost win the game versus the Bears last week. I think they get it done versus the Texans on the road. Their defense is going to help them, and I think Joe Flacco is going to be more in a rhythm. Nick is going to go the Texans. So that's our first disagreement there. There we go. There's one light. There's the second light, so you guys can still see me on here. The next game we're going to go to, which is The next 1 o'clock game is the Packers versus the Panthers. The Packers should win this game, especially if they want to still make the playoffs. I'm going Packers here. The Panthers aren't really playing for too much. Nick is going to Packers as well. Next is the Seahawks versus the Titans. The Seahawks were able to get a win on Monday night versus the Eagles, so that put the Eagles back a little bit. It is at Titans. They're not playing in the competing with AFC South anymore. I'm going to go Seahawks here. They're able to get the win on Monday night, and then they can also get the win on Sunday afternoon. Then our next 1 o'clock game is the Indianapolis Colts versus the Falcons. If the Colts want to win the AFC South, they need to win all the remaining games. So I'm believing in the Colts and going Colts here. Nick went to Seahawks, and he went to Colts as well. So only one disagreement so far. Our 1 o'clock game of the week is probably going to be the Browns versus Texans, and Nick has the same opinion. I just talked to him. Our 4:05 game, it is a little cold here. I'm talking a little fast, guys, so please bear with me. It is the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield had one of the most perfect days he did last Sunday, and I think he continues that, and I am going Bucs. We need the Jags to lose, because I'm a Colts fan, you know. He's going Bucs as well. The Dolphins play at 4:25. It's the Cowboys versus Dolphins. You know what? I'm going to Cowboys here this week. I know the Dolphins, Tyreek, they didn't have him last week. They have him this week, come back from an ankle injury. I think the Cowboys turn it around. They do need to win these road games in order to. I still do believe. I'm pretty sure they did clinch playoff brief, so they still will make that. But in order to put them in the best scenario possible, I'm going to go Cowboys here. Then you've got the Cardinals versus the Bears. I'm going to go Bears here. Nick also went Bears and Dolphins. Then at 8:15 on Sunday, you've got the Patriots and Broncos. Pretty easy here. You're going to go Broncos. Patriots aren't really competing for anything. And then on Monday night, on Christmas, you've got the Raiders and Chiefs. Going to go Chiefs here, especially if they still want to compete for the number 1 seed. Nick went Chiefs. I do have to go to the restroom really bad, so I am going through this a little quickly. And then the Giants and Eagles, it should be a pretty easy game for the Eagles. Nick thinks the same thing. Then you got the Ravens and 49ers at 8:15, the game of the week, the game of week 16 on Christmas night, which is awesome. I'm going Ravens here. Nick is going to go the 49ers, so we do have we at least have 2 disagreements there. I do believe the Ravens can get this done, and the 49ers are the best team in the NFC. The Ravens are the best team in the AFC, so we'll just see what happens there. But I've got the Ravens come out on top, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys for listening with me, and have a Merry Christmas.